statement. I've got 3 thesis statements to show you, and the first thesis statement is a big problem. So let's have a look at that now. In my opinion, the advantages and disadvantages are both important. Now, I have a lot of students asking me, with this type of essay, do I really need to choose if the advantages are more important or the disadvantages are more important? Well, the answer is yes. You can't decide that they're equally important. And the reason is that IELTS are giving you this type of question because they want to see how you make your choice, how you present your choice, and how you defend your choice. So if you decide they're equal, you're actually changing the type of essay that IELTS are giving you, and you will write what are the advantages and disadvantages. And of course, that's not the question that you're given. So IELTS are giving you this question because they want to see you make and present a choice. So do not do that. Now we look at the other 2 thesis statements. Number 2, in my opinion, the drawbacks of children doing paid work greatly outweigh any benefits. This is a very clear answer. We've got in my opinion because we're making a choice, we're giving our view. So the examiner will be able to find the answer very quickly when you do that. We've got the drawbacks, so we've paraphrased the disadvantages. This thesis statement does use the same word that IELTS gave you, which is outweigh. It is okay to use it if you want, but with this thesis statement here, I've changed it, so I'll show you in a minute. We've also got children doing paid work greatly outweigh. You can use that if you want, if you feel strongly, or you can omit it, take it out, and just say the drawbacks outweigh any benefits. So that's one way to write it, and it is fine to do that. Let's have a look at number 3. In my opinion, I think that paid work can bring about more problems for children compared to any advantages it might bring. Again, we have got a very clear answer, which is there are more problems than advantages. And what else have we got? We've got in my opinion, so the examiner can find our answer. I think it's fine to use both. It's very natural in English to do that. Bring about more problems. Bring about means it creates, it causes more problems. We've got a comparison, compared to any advantages that can occur. So we've got 2 possible thesis statements. Both of them are good, but I will choose this one for our essay. So now let's have a look at the whole introduction written together. The complete introduction paragraph. Although paid work is thought by some to be a good experience for children, other people think it can be detrimental. In my opinion, I think that paid work can bring about more problems for children compared to any advantages it might bring. So it's a very concise, focused introduction, 2 statements, one that introduces the topic, the essay question, and the other that gives an answer that explains which is more important than the other. So that's the introduction. Now we need to look at the body paragraphs, and we need to see how our opinion changes the way that we write the body paragraphs. Now, the ideas will be the same, but the wording, your way of presenting the ideas to support your opinion will change. So let's have a look at the first body paragraph. The first body paragraph. Admittedly, there are some basic benefits of children working for money. Firstly, children can develop an understanding of the value of money. This teaches them that money does not grow on trees and helps them appreciate the hard work needed to earn it. Secondly, they take the first steps in learning how to manage money. Many older children, for instance, have a part-time job in order to save for something they would otherwise be unable to afford. Understanding money management, furthermore, is useful when, as adults, they will need to balance their finances. So looking at this first body paragraph, how does it change? How is it different to the body paragraph we had in the other essay? Well, it is very similar. There are only some small changes. So let's have a look at what they are. The first one you're going to notice is the linking device that we've used to open the paragraph, and that's the word admittedly. In the other essay, you could use on the one hand, or on the other hand. You could use firstly to start the first advantage. But we are going to use admittedly for that. Now, this is an advantage-disadvantage essay with an opinion, and admittedly gives an opinion, which is when we say, I don't really think the advantages are very important, but I admit that there are some. So it's a very useful way to begin to show that we are writing the side that we don't really think is that important. Then we've got there are some basic benefits. And again, we're stressing our opinion that we don't think they are so important. You can also notice one similarity is that we've got firstly and secondly. So that means we're using the same linking devices inside the paragraph to highlight the advantages that we're giving. Another difference is that we've only got 2 advantages. Now, when you have a topic sentence like this, we don't have so many words left to write the advantages. And each advantage does need to have supporting points, as you remember. So for this, it's best to have just 2 advantages and explain them in more detail. Another difference, well, you can see just a few differences. Firstly, here, I've got a new expression here for you. Money does not grow on trees. This is idiomatic English, and this is high band score. And it's one of the few idioms that we can use for academic writing. So it's absolutely fine, and it does mean that money isn't free. Also, you will see that I've added an extra supporting point to the second advantage, explaining about why money management is important in a child's future. So on the whole, when we look at it, there are only small differences. Now, before we move to the second body paragraph, the disadvantages which we support, I want to point out one more thing. A lot of people talk about paraphrasing the topic. Now, our topic is children working for money. So you can see here, we've got children working for money. Now, how many times do you need to paraphrase that in your essay? Well, if you look more carefully, you will see that actually we're not paraphrasing it very often at all. When we start the first advantage, we haven't used it, and we talk about this teaches them. So when you refer back, it means that you don't need to paraphrase it. And this is one very useful way to avoid repeating information. Or if it's difficult to paraphrase, you don't take a chance with your paraphrasing, and you can refer to it as this. So don't worry too much about paraphrasing. Right, let's have a look at body paragraph number 2. The disadvantages. Nevertheless, despite the advantages above, I believe children could face serious drawbacks from paid work. One potentially dangerous problem is that it exposes them to exploitation through slave labour. In many countries that do not enforce child employment laws, they may end up working under extreme conditions or even in life-threatening situations for negligible wages. Starting life in this way makes it almost impossible for them to escape poverty as an adult. Another obvious issue is that working may affect a child's ability to focus on their schoolwork. This is a concern, as only with a strong academic performance can a child hope to advance as an adult. So, let's have a look at what is different and what is similar to the previous essay. Well, the topic sentence is completely different. The first word that we're using is nevertheless, and that has a similar meaning to however. And we use nevertheless because we're saying even though we've got some advantages, the disadvantages are more important. So it's a perfect way to begin this paragraph. And then we've got despite the advantages above. So saying even though we have them, this reinforces the opinion to have both. Now, some students might worry that we're repeating and we don't need to have both. Well, you can have one, nevertheless, or despite the advantages above, but having both is not repetitive. It is stressing your opinion. So it's absolutely fine to use. It's very good. And then we've got, I believe children could face serious drawbacks. So again, we're stressing that this is our opinion, and we're stressing that this is very serious. So we think these drawbacks are more important than the advantages. So again, this is all about supporting our view that we gave in the introduction. Then we go on to one potentially dangerous problem. So we don't say one problem, we say one potentially dangerous problem, stressing the importance of this problem. The supporting points are almost the same, but we've added working under extreme conditions or life-threatening situations, again stressing the importance of this disadvantage. And we've added one extra sentence to our supporting points, again to support our view that this is so important, by saying that when children start life by doing paid work that is exploitation, it is almost impossible for them to escape poverty as an adult. So again, more information, more support for our views. The linking device, we've got one dangerous problem, another obvious issue. It's the same linking method, but we're adding extra words in to support our view. So another obvious issue, and then we've got about the schoolwork, and we still have one supporting point as well. So you can see we've got the same ideas, but our method of presenting is different. It's stronger, it's clearer. We are really making it sure that the examiner understands this is where our support lies.